Hey everyone, welcome to Improve Every Day. It's me, Matt here, and today I'm talking about why you should choose the way that you react to different circumstances in your life and why it's important to learn how to do that and not just be moved along by the flow of events in your life and actually choose your reaction to them. So this video was inspired by a book that I just finished reading called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Now I'm probably actually going to do a separate video reviewing this book because I think it's an awesome book and I think you guys should read it, and I want to talk a little bit about the lessons in there. But there is one lesson in the book that I just wanted to make a separate video about, and that is choosing your own attitude to your set of circumstances. There's a quote from the book that says, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." Here Victor tells us that no matter what happens to us, no matter what circumstances we have, we are able to still make our own decision about our attitude to those circumstances. And this is true. We as human beings, can't always choose our circumstances in life. We can't choose what things happen to us. Viktor Frankl was actually in a concentration camp, and he had little choice over the matter. Once he was there, he could try to escape, but the chances of that actually succeeding are slim. And even if he does succeed, he's still in the middle of a war-torn country, he could get captured again and so on. He has very little choice over what happens to him, and while he's there imprisoned, he has little choice over what he does with his life. He's forced into work, he has a set routine that he has to follow through every single day, and he has no choice over his circumstances. But what he can choose, what he repeatedly does choose, is to control his attitude to those circumstances. To not be defeated by his circumstances, but to instead find hope and meaning in his life, despite all the suffering that he's enduring. And I was reading this part of the book and I loved it because, that's something that I've neglected a lot over my life. I've always been someone who tries to run away from suffering, and it's been the cause of a lot of the problems that I endured in my life. I, when faced with suffering, would always try to find a way out. That is why, for some time, I was a drug addict. I liked to escape my problems. I did not like to face up to them, and I certainly never had the idea of actually turning something that was a problem into something positive, actually changing my attitude to it. I never even had the concept of that. So when I was reading through that, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how powerful this is because so many people do this. It is our natural response. When we're faced with something fearful, something challenging, something unpleasant, our normal reaction is, how do I get out of this? How do I run away from this? How do I go somewhere else and forget this even exists? But sometimes you don't even have that option. So learning to actually embrace suffering, to embrace negative experiences and change our inner attitude to them is something that is tremendously powerful. It allows us to not shy away from responsibilities and from hard work. It allows us to face up to unpleasant things that we can't avoid, like terminal illness, loss of a loved one, or just unpleasant emotions in a relationship or something like that. It allows us to move on and actually move forward even when we're faced with things like grief and events that have happened to us that we cannot change or take back. And it gives us a huge amount of power over our lives because the fact is very few people do this. Most people, like I said, will run away from problems. Most people won't move towards them. And what that means is those who are willing to walk towards the problems and go right through to the other side, those are the people that stand out. Those are the people that can start successful businesses, that can change lives, that can make people smile, that can do something wonderful in the world, because when you're not afraid of adversity, you're willing to push much harder than anyone else is. So you can be the 1%, you can be the ones who are actually doing something powerful and changing the world. So think about that a little. Think about how often you go through some kind of adversity. It could be something small, it could be just not wanting to get out of bed in the morning, or it could be something bigger like the loss of a loved one, emotional trauma, abuse, being assaulted, something like that. All of these things, think about the fact that you're not always going to have control over these things. Some of these things may happen to you. Some really unpleasant things may happen to you in the rest of your life. But remember, you do have the choice to choose how you react to those things. Now, you can't make something necessarily stop hurting or suddenly be pleasant, but you can always choose to find some meaning in the situation, something that you can get out of it. If nothing else, just the fact that that negative situation that you've endured has made you a bit stronger as a person. This is something I've tried to do in my life. For the longest time, after I got clean, I felt like I had just failed in my life. I had done this terrible thing and I was moving forward from it, but I would forever just be this addict in recovery. I would forever just be this person trying to get away from a bad past. But quickly, as I started to get into self-improvement, I realised I could turn that something bad into something good. I realised that I had gained a lot of strength through those experiences. Prior to my addiction, I was not anywhere near as strong as I was afterwards, because overcoming that was something that put me to the test. And so when I overcame that, I gained some kind of strength that I was now able to put towards better things, towards improving myself, towards working on my goals, towards becoming a better person. And that is ultimately where this whole channel comes from too, is that now I have this drive to improve, and I have this drive to face adversity. Because, you know, things are challenging in life, and I now have the attitude that even if it's challenging, you have to go through it. You're going to be better when you get out the other side. So perhaps you can take this attitude too, and not see adversity as a threat. See suffering as something to be endured, something to get through to the other side of, something to use to actually grow as a person. You don't always have to run away from the unpleasant in life. Sometimes you can just change how you feel about it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it quite informative. If you want to not only learn new things and watch fun and entertaining videos, but also to keep improving yourself every single day, then be sure to subscribe for more content like this. If you're already subscribed, click on one of the 2 videos seen on screen to keep watching and keep improving. Thanks for watching, see you again soon.